Here the same thing, except we're just using now more than one fraction. Okay, we still need a common denominator. Okay, so we need to figure out what is a common denominator of 2, 4, 12. So what's the common multiple? Well, the common multiple here is going to be 12. So I need a times 6 here. I need a times 3 here. Okay, once I do that, now I have a denominator of 12. So I have 1/2 is same as 6/12. That's an equivalent fraction. 1/4 is same as 3/12. And then I'm going to add the 1/12 here. So I get 6 minus 3 plus 1. I end up with 4/12. Okay, so that can be simplified to they share a common factor of 3. So I can do a divide 3. So it's share a common factor of 4. So I can do a divide 4 to get my final answer of 1/3. Okay, so between these ones, 15, 3, and 5, our common denominator is going to be 15. So I need to make sure I show that times 5 here. I need a times 3 here. And then once I've done that, now I have a common denominator of 15. Okay, so I'm going to add and subtract. 4 plus 5 minus 6 equals, this is going to be equal to 3 over 15. Again, they share common factors, so I should divide out that common factor. So divide out that common factor of 3, and I'm going to end up with my fraction of 1 over 5 in lowest terms. Okay, so that's my lowest term fraction. 3 over 15 technically is correct, but it's implied that we should try to get lowest terms when possible. So 10, 5, 6, the lowest common denominator is going to be 30. Okay, we want to try to go for the lowest as well. Okay, we could, if we just multiply that all together, we're going to get 30 times 10 is 300. I mean, that's bigger than we need. Okay, so we're going to use our lowest common denominator. And that lowest common denominator is 30, so we need a times 3 here, times 6 here, times 5 here. Okay, make sure you show that multiplier. Now I have 9 over 30 plus 6 over 30 minus 5 over 30. Okay, so that's going to be 9 plus 6 minus 5 is 10. We're left with 10 over 30. The common factor of 10 simplify, and so we end up with 1/3. Okay, so I need to divide 10, divide 10. Okay, for these ones, same thing. We want to get a common denominator. Looks like it's 24. So we need our times by 3. Okay, so we're missing a times by 3 factor here. We have to do what we do the bottom, we have to do the top to keep the same ratio. We're missing a times 4 factor here and a times 2 factor here. And again, whatever you do the top, bottom, you have to do the top to keep the fraction balanced and making an equivalent fraction. Okay, so 3 over 8 is the same as 9 over 24. These are on the same spot on the number line. This becomes 4 over 24, so 4 over 24 on the number line is the same number as 1 over 6. And lastly, we get 10 over 24. Okay, we end up with 15. 15 over 24. It shares a common factor of 3, so we're going to divide 3, and we left with 5 over 8 as our simplified version. Okay, again, 15 over 24 is correct, but this is our simplified version. Here we need a common denominator of 12, so we're going to use a times 4 to get that common denominator. We're going to use a times 2 to get the common denominator, and a times 3 to get the common denominator. And again, balance the top and bottom of that fraction. Show your factors. You need to show me those factors. Okay, and then we're going to end up with the fraction with the common denominator, so 8 over 12. You need to show me the fraction with that common denominator as well. 2 over 12 plus 9 over 12. Okay, so we're going to end up with, looks like 8 minus 2 plus 9 is 15 over 12. That is an improper fraction. However, please know that improper fractions are actually not a bad thing. Okay, leave it as an improper fraction. They're actually better than mixed numbers. So, but this does simplify, so there's a common factor of 3. So I'm going to divide by 3 to get 5 over 4, and that is a simplified version of 15 over 12. Lastly here, it looks like the common denominator is going to be 20, so we're going to use our times 4, times 4 times 4, times 2 times 2, times 5 times 5, and that gives us our new fraction with the same denominator of 20. Okay, so our 4/5 is 16 over 20 minus 6 over 20 minus 5 over 20. Okay, and this works out to be, looks like 5 over 20. Okay, and again, this simplifies with a common factor of 5 in here. So it simplifies to 1 over 4 as my final simplified answer. Okay, so those are the steps. And again, I want you to show me these steps. These are steps I expect to see when you do this work. Okay, the final answer is great, but the final answer is not what's being marked. It's going to be, what's going to be marked is, how did you show me the steps? Are you showing me the factors involved? Here, are you showing me a common denominator? Again, here's some factors involved in division. Okay, the simplifying, I don't need to see these so much, but definitely need to see these factors that give you the common denominator. Okay, so what about this problem here? It says 2/5 of the passengers on a cruise ship were women, 3/8 were men, and the rest were children. So let's just kind of see here. This is about 1/5, 2/5. Okay, so this would represent the women. Okay, so 2/5. I'm just going to color it in like this. Okay, that's 2/5 of the cruise ship. 3/8 were men. Oh, this is going to be hard to draw. 3/8. Okay, so looks like that's fifths, so it's going to be maybe something like this. 3/8. Okay, 3/8. Okay, so I don't know exactly how accurate that is, but okay, so that's going to be 3/8. 3/8 were men. The rest were children. Okay, so what is this fraction as part of the whole? Okay, so this is the part that we're looking for. We are looking for the children. Okay, and this represents the children right here. So I really need to figure out how much is 2/5 plus 3/8. Okay, or I could do it this way. I'm going to set it up this way. I'm going to start with one whole, and I'm going to take away 2/5. Okay, so I'm going to take away the women. So the whole boat, take away the women. Okay, minus all the men. Okay, so this would be the men here. If I take away the women and men, I'm left with children. Okay, so this is going to equal the number, the fraction of children. Okay, so there's my fraction of children here. So how do I show this subtraction? Well, I need a common denominator. Okay, I cannot do this in these funny shaped pieces. They don't compare to each other, so I can't add or I can't subtract. I can't count them up. So I need a common denominator. In this case, the common denominator is going to be 40. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break up this whole thing up into 40s. Okay, so that means then that I'm going to divide this into 8s. Okay, that's 8s. I'm going to divide this into eighths as well. So we're going to do fifths here. Okay, and then this is going to be the remaining part. I'm not going to divide that because I don't know how to divide that really nicely. But I need a common denominator of 40. So here I need to multiply by 8. I need to multiply by 8. And that will give me 16 out of 40. Okay, of 40 people, 16 of them are women. Here I need to multiply by 5. I need to multiply by 5, and that's going to give me my 1/40. So of this boat, of 40 people, 15 were men. And if I subtract, I'm going to take away 40 minus 16 minus 15 is going to leave me with 9 children out of 40. Okay, and again, I'm not going to do, my divisions are the same. So this is going to represent 9 out of 40. That's the fraction of children that end up being left over. Okay, so there is, so 9/40 of the boat are children. So maybe I should write this properly. 9/40 of the boat are children. Okay.